Hey, are you guys ready to learn how to crochet this beautiful star stitch combination? It's a combination of three different stitches, pretty simple ones, to create a gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. So I'm going to show you how to do this. I am actually making a cardigan right now for myself out of this particular swatch here. But I'm going to show everybody how to come up with this combination of stitches here, in case you want to do the same or make something else out of it. But if you are interested, the yarn that I am using here for that you see here is Malabrego Mecca. It's a bulky 5. I will though say that it is on the thinner side of a bulky 5, and there is the color number 31. Mostaza, which I have been told is mustard in Spanish. I think that's right. But look at that beautiful fabric these simple stitches create. It's amazing that you can put 2, 3, 4, 5, even 6 stitches together and just come up with a unique and beautiful fabric. Now this one is a rather simple, like I said, repeat of stitches, but you could use this for anything that you look at it now. It would make a gorgeous scarf just the way that it is, and the width that it is right now. Of course, I would have needed to make it longer, but like I said, I'm making a cardigan with mine. So, but it's so elegant and so beautiful. There's something about the star stitch. I think it just is beautiful, even when it's paired with the most simple stitches. It's great. Now this is extremely easy. Do not be intimidated if you've never done the star stitch. It's not hard at all. I promise you, I will show you how to do it. But you will need to know how to do the basic stitches, such as single crochet, half double crochet, and double crochet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over because this will be my cardigan eventually. Here I've been working on it. Here's the back side of this stitch combination pattern that I'm getting ready to show you. But as you can see, the front side, wow, that's just absolutely stunning. All right, I'm gonna set this to the side because I'm working on that tonight, so I'm gonna work on it a little bit more after I show you guys how to do it, in case you want to make a cardigan out of it, or a blanket, or whatever tickles your fancy. You can now do it. So for this particular I call it whenever I incorporate you know, more than one stitch together, I just call it a generally a fabric design. That's what I usually say, but I know that's probably not going to correct, which is, it's not correct, but we'll just call it a stitch combination. Now remember, this is a rather simple one. I will come up eventually, or eventually I'm going to start doing these more. And at the making of this video, I do believe it is January 7th of 2023, and I decided that I was going to come up with combination stitch tutorials, because a lot of people have trouble knowing what stitches work well together with different multiples. So I'm gonna start out simple here. So for this particular, now remember, you can use whatever yarn you want for this. You can use whatever hook you want. It just depends on what you're making. So I'm using some scrap yarn that I have here and a J hook just for the stitch sample purpose. So for this particular beautiful fabric here that was created using simple stitches, you just need an even number of stitches. So that's all the multiple is, just a multiple 2, or an even number of stitches. So you would just chain to your desired length, whether it be a scarf, a cardigan like me, which I've been working on. I love it. Whether you want to make shags, or you want to make blanket, whatever you want to do with this stitch sample combo, you do whatever you want with it, but make sure that your chain amount is an even number of stitches. All right, So once you get your chain as long as you'd like it to be, we're going to go ahead and start, and we're going to be doing a row of double crochet first. So we're going to do a double crochet in the 4th stitch from our hook. So we don't count this one that's on our hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we go into that 4th chain there, like that. And this chain here on the end, he counts as a stitch. All right. And then we're just going to work across our chain, working 1 double crochet into every single stitch for the length of our chain. So 1 double in every stitch until we get to the end of the row, and this will be row 1 of this fabric sampler, or whatever you want to call it. That's just what I call it. Stitch combo pattern. How about that? I don't really know what to say. If I do more tutorials, which I plan on doing, of multiple stitches in one, this one's relatively simple, but they will get more complex. You can let me know what I should call them. Stitch combo samples, whatever you guys think. You can let me know in the comments. It's going to be a new series on my channel. A new playlist to add. Another new playlist. All right, I'm going to continue along, putting a double crochet in every stitch until I get to the end. All right, so I've made it to the end of row 1, and now we're going to begin row 2. So we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, okay? It doesn't count as anything. It's just a turning chain. So we're going to go right back into this very first stitch, and we're going to work a single crochet. And we're going to work 1 single crochet in every stitch across until we get to the end of row 2. Now the reason why we're doing this is because whenever I work my star stitch, I want the right side of my double crochets and my star stitch to be on the right side. Had I not done this row of single crochet, my star stitch would have been on the opposite, would have been here, face in my back of my double crochets would have been showing. I want the front of my double crochet showing, as well as the front of my star stitches. So in order for that to happen, I needed to incorporate a row of single crochet. So that is the purpose of this. So row 2, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of the row. Now row 2 is going to start the repeat of this stitch combo. All right, so row 1 was the base row here. Row 2, we're starting the repeat. So I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. And one more thing, I want to say that it's very important that you keep track your count of your stitches. That's very important because it's easy to lose track of stitches when you're working the star stitch. Just make sure that you keep count. All right, I'm coming to the end. I don't remember this chain counts as a stitch, so I'm just going to call it a stitch. Make sure you single crochet into your last stitch, and that you have the same number of single crochets that you did double crochets. All right, so row 3 is going to start the star stitch row. So we're going to start it off by chaining 2, but don't chain too tightly, because we're going to work into those chains, and we're going to turn our work. So now our double crochets are facing the right side, and so will our star stitches. Okay, so for our first star stitch, we chain 2 here. We are going to go right back into the first chain. The very first chain, we're just going to go right into it, and it gets a little tight, the first one, but don't worry, you could do it. It's not hard. It's just getting a hold of it. There we go. And what we're going to do is draw up a loop, and then we're going to go right here to the second chain, go into it, and draw up a loop. And you can see now that we have 3 loops on our hook. Now we're going to go back into this very first single crochet right here and draw up a loop. Now we have 4 loops. And then we're going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. We have 5 loops. And then we're going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. Now we have 6 loops on our hook. And we're going to yarn over and go through all 6 loops on our hook and chain 1. So that's how you do the first star stitch of the row. Now the rest of them are a little different, but that's how we always do the first one. All right, so now we're going to start the star stitch pattern since we got our first one done. So we're going to go into the eye of the star, which is right here. It's that chain 1 that we just did. We're going to go straight into it and draw up a loop like that. And then you see this leg of the star right here? We're going to grab the leg that's right behind it. Just that one loop. So here's your main leg. Don't go into him. Go into the one right behind it and draw up a loop like that. And now we're going to go into the exact same stitch that we ended this star stitch in right here. And we're going to draw up a loop. So we got 4 loops on our hook. And then we're going to go into the next stitch and draw up a loop. 5 loops. And then the next one, draw up a loop. 6 loops. We always have 6 loops with our star. And then we're going to yarn over and go through all 6 and chain 1. There we go. That's what we're going to do all the way across. All right, let's do it again. So we go into the eye of the star, which is that chain 1 that we just made, and draw up a loop. And then this last leg of the star right here, we want to go into his back loop right back there. We don't want to go into the front of him, but we want to go in his back loop, his back leg, and draw up a loop. That's 3 loops. Now we're going to go back into the same stitch that we just ended this star in and draw up a loop. And then we're going to draw up a loop in the next 2 stitches. So the next one, we draw up a loop. You see now we have 5 loops on our hook. And then we're going to go into the next one and draw up a loop. And you can see we have our 6 loops. That's what we need. We're going to yarn over and go through all 6 and chain 1. Just like that. There's our next star. So we've done 3 so far. Remember that beginning one is done a little bit different, but the rest are done like this. Let's do another one. See how easy it is? You can do it. Don't worry about it. Even if it takes you more than 1 tries, even if you get angry and you have to set it down or frustrated, we've all been there. Trust me. Go into the eye of the star and draw up a loop. And this leg right here, now we're not going to go into the front of his leg, but we're going to grab his back leg. Right there. And draw up a loop. And then we're going to go right here into the same stitch that we just ended this star. Draw up a loop. And then we're going to drop a loop into each of the next 2 stitches. So there's that one and the next one. There we go. 6 loops. Yarn over, go through all 6, chain 1, and there we go. I'll do it one more time. Ready? Let's go in through the eye of the star. There you go. Just like that. And now we're going to look at this last leg here. Remember, we don't want the front of his leg. We want to go on his back leg, That little loop right there. Right there. Draw up a loop. And then we go right back into that same stitch that we just finished in. And draw up a loop. And then we're going to draw up a loop in each of the next 2 stitches. So there's that one. And then we go to the next one. There's that one. There's our 6 loops. We're going to yarn over and go through all 6 and chain 1. And this is what we're going to do all the way until we get to the last stitch of our row. Now the star stitch takes 2 rows to complete. So although we are on row 3, this is only half of the star stitch. We have to do 1 more row on top of it to actually complete a full star. So I'm going to continue doing this this pattern here that we've been doing. That, remember, you got this. Don't be intimidated. It just takes practice. And once you get it down, you'll be so happy, because this is such a beautiful stitch to incorporate into so many things. I love the star stitch. I used to be intimidated by it until I sat down and did it. And then I was like, yep, I got this. And you can too. All right, I'll see you at the last stitch, okay? All right, so I've come here to the end of row 3, and I have one final stitch left. Now, normally we would end this with a single crochet, but sometimes that leaves a gap. I don't like gaps if I can prevent them. So this is how I always end the star stitch row. What I do is I do a single crochet 2 together. So I'm going to go back into this stitch that we worked our last star stitch, and I'm going to draw up a loop, and then I'm going to go into the last stitch here and draw up a loop, and I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3. Now that would eliminate a gap that would have been there, but now it's not, and it didn't add any stitches at all. So that is row 3. All right, let's do row 4, which is the other half of the star stitch. Now, there's different ways that people will do the other half of the star stitch. Some people will make it with, let me go ahead and chain 1 and turn our work. Some people will make the other half of the star stitch with single crochets, and some people will use half doubles. I use both, depending on what I want my project to look like. Now for this one, I used half doubles for the purpose of, I knew that the third loop of the half double would give this ribbed effect, like a rope effect across the top of my stars. I knew it would do that, so that's why I used it, just for some added texture. Now if you don't like that look, but I think it's gorgeous, you can do a single crochet and it would not be there. But to show you how this is done, we're going to be doing half double crochets. So what we want to do, we chained 1 and turned. Now remember that chain 1 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to go ahead and half double crochet right back. We're doing half doubles now into this very first stitch, like that. All right, now remember the eye of the stars that we did? We're going to go across and we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the eyes of every star. So if you flip it over, you can see the eyes of the star. There, 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 there. We're going to work 2 half doubles in each of the eyes, all right? So we put a half double crochet there into the very first stitch. Now I'm going to work across, and here's my first eye. I'm going to put 1 half double, and I'm going to go back into it, and I'm going to put another half double like that. And then I'm going to find the next eye of my star, which is right here. If you need to flip it and look, that's fine, because sometimes they get tight. Sometimes they're tighter or looser. And right through the eye of the star, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. And I'm going to do this all the way across. Now this is a row that you want to be very important to make sure you count your stitches on. These half doubles, I don't know, they can be funny sometimes. For me anyways. Though you should make sure you count your stitches on every row. I do. On this particular fabric swatch that I did here, or fabric sample that I'm working out for my cardigan. I am making sure to count every row. Better safe than sorry. So as you can see, I'm working along and I'm putting 2 half double crochets in the eye of each one of my stars. And I'm going to do this until I get to finished out all my stars and I can't do anymore. And then I'll show you how we end the row. Isn't this easy? It's very easy, and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Makes me really happy to be able to, when I make things, I like mixing stitches. I don't know, it just never dawned on me to maybe just mix stitches and do little sample swatches so you guys could use the mixed stitches as well. But if anybody wanted to, you know, if not, that's okay. All right, I'm almost to the end here. So here's the eye of my last star right here. So we're going to do 2 half doubles into that. Now we're at where our beginning star. It's always kind of funny looking because it's got that chain on the end. I'm not going to half double here. I'm just going to put a single crochet into this kind of the side chain there. Remember the chain, and then we did the star. We chained 2 and then we started the star. That's that chain. So just kind of in that chain spot somewhere, go ahead and I'm going to single crochet into that spot. And there we go. That completes 1, 2, 3, 4, row 4. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn. And look at that. Look how pretty that is. Here, you might have to give it a stretch because star stitches sometimes need a little good stretching out. There we go. Now, this will be the final row. All right. This is going to be the double crochet row. Kind of how we started with the double crochet row. That was our foundation row. Now we're going to do another double crochet row. So that chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. We're going to go right back into the very first stitch and double crochet. So here's what I was talking about, the half double, leaving that 3rd loop right here exposed and not going into it. That's what creates that unique, I call it kind of a rope design across it. That's why I chose to use a half double on top of the star this time, in opposed to a single crochet. I'm going to put a double crochet in every stitch across. Don't go into these 2 loops up here, okay? This is to leave this little dilly-dally thing here alone. That's what's going to give you that nice rope effect. So we're just going right into the top of the stitch, not messing with that unique little design that the half double, also known as the 3rd loop, that no one really likes, but no one really likes working into. But when you're working in a back and forth method, it makes a very unique design on your fabric. So I'm going to go across and I'm going to work a double crochet into every stitch. Now make sure you count. So you make sure you have this. You should have the same number of stitches that you started, or that you did at the end of your first row double crochet, at the end of your single crochet row. Just like this. And I'll meet back up with you towards the end of our row. That's beautiful. All right, so when you're coming to the end of your double crochet row, this part's very important because this part it's easy to miss a stitch here. All right, so right here is a stitch, but it looks like that could be the end of it, but if you quit there, you wouldn't have the amount of stitches that you need. There's actually the stitch right here that you have to go into. That's why the half doubles are always funny, working back into them. So go into this last stitch here on the end, and that should give you the correct number of stitches. And it's very important to have the correct number so your star stitches line up every row, and you know, you don't end up with weird oddball numbers. But that's it. You just want to repeat row starting from the single crochet row. Repeat rows 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's such an easy, simple repeat. So what I would do is I would just start repeating again. I would chain 1 and turn my work, and this would be my row of single crochet. Remember, I add that row of single crochet, so my double crochet and my star stitches can be facing both the correct direction. Also, another reason is so I can get that when I do my half double crochet on the back side, I get that pretty third loop facing on the front as well, which gives it that nice ribbed effect. So that's it. You just start again from your single crochet row. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after a few repeats, it looks so pretty. There is a little bit of method to my madness sometimes. And I sure do enjoy sharing it with you. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tutorials. They are all free for you to enjoy. And I put them on non-stop. I mean, on a daily, sometimes on a multiple time daily. And we also like to talk about yarn here too. So hit that subscribe button. It's free. Just hit that red button. Come join us. And if you make something out of this nice stitch combination that I showed you, I'd really love to see it. You come post it on my Facebook page. Also, hit that like button and leave me a comment below. That really helps me out. And I'll see you guys on my next video, whatever it might be. Bye, guys. Take care.